All right, episode 118, what real estate agents should be doing right now to get that business. We'll get started right now.
Go get it.
Welcome to the only real estate podcast worth listening to, with your hosts Nick Good, Matt Kelderman, and Brian Force. Combined, they have 26 years of experience and have sold over 1,500 homes. Join them each week as they bring you everything you need to know about real estate. And now, here are your hosts, Nick, Matt, and Brian.
All right, episode 118, 118. Today, we're going to be talking about what real estate agents should be doing right now in order to get that business. But if this is your first time watching our show or listening on iTunes,
Where you been?
Yeah, where have you been?
I've only been doing this shit for 3 years.
Yeah. And if you have yet to do so, go over to our Facebook group, the only real estate group worth being a part of. Request access in there, as well as leave us some reviews of wherever you're consuming your podcast content. And check out our sponsors, Michael DeBacker, MortgageMikeOfTexas.com. He is an amazing loan officer here in Texas. So if you really want to look like a rock star in front of your clients, check with him. Text him. I connected him with a guy in Midland yesterday, $17 million producer.
Nice.
So he was looking for somebody that would help on marketing, some marketing pieces on the seller side, which DeBacker has, which he's hooked you guys up on.
Absolutely.
Right. So if you don't know what that is in terms of if your lender's not helping you find a way to get more listings, I'm telling you right now, MortgageMikeOfTexas.com. And Justin Nelson, SphereRocketVA.com. If you're wanting that virtual assistant, Brian and I were talking off air about building out some marketing funnels. Guess what? You could go have that. You could have that person. If you think that's hard, think that's expensive, you don't know what the heck you're doing on that, just go connect with SphereRocketVA.com, Justin Nelson, and go get a virtual assistant. Start building out your marketing campaigns, your automation sequencing, and maybe even some of that admin task, right? So Justin Nelson, SphereRocketVA.com.
We have VAs run half of our business, man, and it is so choice.
We were having a conversation just earlier today with a couple of people that we might potentially be partnering with, and we were talking about how to run their admin staff, and we're like, look, basing it off of what we already have going on the other side of this wall with the admin hub, like we may just need a virtual assistant to come in. Like you can have virtual assistants doing all kinds of shit.
Sure.
Yeah, right? Like I think I even got on his website I don't know what the number is. It may not be 500, but like the top 100 things that you could have a VA.
Yeah, he has that.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
No, and he has first off, why does it have to be in your business? Why can't you have a VA also do your personal stuff?
My mind hasn't popped open with this one yet, but that's what he does, dude.
Yeah, why not figure out how to remind you to pay your electricity bill so that your lights don't get shut off? Maybe that's somebody that I know.
You're trying to leverage right now should be a VA.
It's really funny because it's just like please set this appointment for me. Like yesterday, it was I need my truck to be clean and I need the oil to be changed. And I don't want to do anything involved with that other than leaving the truck there and then having some. And that's what happened yesterday.
I wanted to play Call of Duty so bad the other day, but it wasn't updated. And so I had started the update, but I haven't played in 6 months.
It's still going
so
on.
It took forever. And in the back of my head, I was like, man, I wish Joan could do this.
You know what? I have coming tomorrow is an Oculus 2. The virtual headset.
Explain this to. All right, no, don't explain. Okay. Explain two things to me. What's super badass about the Oculus 2? Because it's this is trending again now.
Yeah.
So Facebook bought Oculus for $1 billion 4 years ago, and I hadn't really heard much about Oculus since. Why is the Oculus 2 different? What's so awesome about it?
I don't know yet. Mine comes tomorrow, but I will tell you that Heather's brother's been playing games on it, and he's like, it's the interactive. It helps you just, instead of just sitting back and playing games. The other thing is I was talking to a friend of mine who was like, actually her brother, who is a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer, by the way.
What?
Right? Did photos for Hurricane Katrina and won a Pulitzer Prize.
Whose?
Wow.
Heather's brother.
Way to capitalize.
The one that I follow on Instagram?
I don't.
He's probably got a badass Instagram.
This is her older brother.
Okay.
Rick.
I was like, this guy does something else.
No, this is Uncle. This is Rico. Rick.
Rico. That's
sweet. And he.
Is his real Christian name is Rico?
No, it's Richard.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's badass.
We call him Uncle Rico.
His name's Rico, and he's a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer. This dude's a monster.
But he was talking about, I was like, dude, why aren't you using this for your VR tours, like showing houses? I'm like, don't know because I haven't looked into that because they were talking about using what's the other 3D shit?
Like the Matterport shit?
Yeah, and he's like, Matterport sucks. And I was like,
course.
of course it does. But if you had the headset on, if you brought them in office and you took them on it, like, again, let's say a $6 million listing that was
Right.
signed of land. What if you took them on the land of VR?
Take on to, they're just
That might
flying
be-
by.
Yes.
Just, look at
Right?
this. It's amazing.
Right?
That actually be dope. I did that little thing. One of those guys got me in Vegas, and they're like, "Come do the VR thing," and I was like,
So
"All right."
Darian
I
just
was
got
pretty
one
drunk.
yesterday.
Are they dope?
Yeah, Darian, I'll send you my name.
I
I'll tell you.
played one
did.
time and I felt like such a goon, like in the room. I felt like I was going to break shit. I was just
Yeah,
like,
here's the thing: you got your headset on. You don't care what you look like. Everyone else thinks you look stupid.
Okay, so I get it for games.
Yeah.
They need to market it only for games. Do you remember the old Oculus commercial with Jonah Hill and somebody else where they're watching like the NBA finals and they're sitting courtside,
No.
but they have the headset on?
No.
No.
I remember.
Thank you, Jesse.
Jesse chiming in from
I
behind
don't
the
know
screen.
why I do a podcast with you guys. There's like it's like the dude from Maroon 5 or something and Jonah Hill, and they're on the phone talking about the NBA finals and they're watching it on Oculus and they're sitting courtside, and the whole marketing thing is like sit courtside or whatever. I was like, the problem with that is nobody's going to watch a whole basketball game through Oculus if they can't dick around on their phone or do all the other dumb shit that we do while we watch TV.
So why can't you have your virtual phone in your hand?
So you
that
have
then
like you
pops
hold it up and then it pops up on
Yeah.
your Oculus like
Yeah,
this.
why not?
That's the next step. Oculus 3, I can still dick around on my
Yeah.
phone.
I'm going to tell you, like, maybe the EXP virtual world comes out with the headset on, and I'll be like, "Come on,
That'd be
guys,
sweet.
come play some
Absolutely.
stupid soccer, or whatever it
It'll
is."
take over this pirate ship.
Let's go
Yeah.
fucking row a boat together.
Yeah. So look, we're ending. This is the last month. This is being shot live. If you listen to the recording of this, we're September 1st. So end of Q3 is coming up. Q4 is about to happen.
Yes.
And so what should real estate agents be doing right now to get that business?
End of year business planning, obviously, Nick.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we all do this time
No,
of
I
year?
do. I do business blast off.
Don't we all? Don't
I changed it. Remember, business blast off in January because everyone else does end of year business planning. I do beginning of year business blast off.
That's one of those slick ass things we do to make agents think that like 2022 is going to be their year,
Yeah.
right? Like we just slide in October when everybody's business is just cratering because they didn't lead generate for 2 months and they just thought they were going to coast through to February.
Do you
And we're
think
like, hey, let's talk about next year. And they're like, put down whatever goals you want. Like next year, I'm gonna sell 50 units. And it's like, all right, bro.
we do it every year? That's why they do it in October every year. Sorry to like ruin the facade of what a lot of major brokerages do, but
Yeah.
that's how they get you re-engaged because fourth quarter is about when people start thinking about making career moves or jumping ship or whatever. And
So
they're
it's a retention tool.
yeah, it's a
Yes.
retention tool. Let's get them real revved up about the 1,000 homes they're going to sell next year, even though they sold 4 this year.
Yep.
Let's have them plan it out, write it down,
Yes.
and if you just boil it down, it's really only X amount,
Agents who
you
are
know.
serious about their business, though, they do. I mean, like, here's the thing: is like, it's not knocking on that idea. You 100% should do that. The reality is, if you don't think about your goals and your numbers and all that stuff, except for every October, it's kind of a pointless exercise.
Yes.
It's like going to
Yeah.
the gym for like 3 weeks, getting super sore, and then being like, "All right, I'm good."
Yeah.
That was the point I was going to make. Is if you're only business planning one time a year, like, you know, when we business plan, 8 a.m. every fucking day, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
what I
here's the
like,
thing, or at least once a week, so you know,
Yes.
like once a week to know where your path and are you on the right path, and if you're not, how do you get back to that right path, right? And so that is what you should be doing right now is tracking. If you're not doing so, start tracking results, right? You were just texting with an agent who just started making expire calls, and you asked, what should be the average contact
Yep.
rate?
Yep.
And so if we don't know what that is, if you're not tracking that, you don't know if you're successful or not.
Absolutely.
You don't know if actually you're getting the best return on time. Right. I have an agent that we just expanded down in Austin, and he's been door knocking 100. He just started doing 100 doors a day, door knocking.
bro, you could knock 100 doors in August in Austin, Texas. You got
You
all
know,
the respect in the world from
Some
me.
dedication to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about the numbers stuff though too. Like I always want to encourage agents. I'm not a numbers logger, which drives all of the people who lead me absolutely bananas. And it makes it really difficult for me to get my bearings on what's working and what's not. Because here's the thing: is my lead generation, what I do to procure business is not what a typical agent does either, right? So I always rest on that and be like, well, it's just not. Some of these numbers aren't quantifiable. I don't know how much does it matter that I posted something on Facebook and then somebody reached out? I don't know what the ROI is on my Facebook post, right? The reality is you can still track how many people you talk to, how many fucking appointments you went on.
If Matt was a general in the military,
The United States would get crushed
they'd
constantly.
be like,
I don't know.
General Kelderman, we're like, look, they're flanking us from the north. They got Air Force coming in this. Like, what should we do? He'd be like, just go with your heart, guys.
Yeah.
I follow this
Look,
guy.
I don't really have a
have
set
any
plan.
metrics.
It just comes to me. I don't even know how many.
What do you feel?
How many guys do we even
How many
have?
How many guys do That's exactly what it would be.
Right?
It'd be like I was playing Risk and I just had to count people on the board every fucking time.
Yeah.
What color are we again?
I follow this guy called the Fat Electrician on TikTok, and this is how I get all my military knowledge. He's obviously like an ex-military guy who's hipping you to the game, and first off, he's funny as hell. So just shout out to that guy if he ever sees this. But the whole point is, I feel like I could lead the military because what I'm learning through watching that guy is that you don't know what the hell you're doing at all.
No.
Right? Like meaning like the
Sure.
commanders do for sure. But I'm just saying, like, the fact that some idiot, there's going to be plenty of people under me who are like, we're just not going to listen to that guy.
So
We know what we're supposed to do.
decentralized, or like,
We know what we're
we
supposed to
kind of
do.
know what
Like,
we're
they
doing.
shot at us, we're just going to go blow the side of that mountain up.
Yeah, but that here's the thing. To your point, that's how most real estate agents run their business.
Yeah.
Where
Shoot
they-
first, aim later.
Yes, right, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but eventually you do have to start aiming, right? You do have to start tracking. You do have to start looking to see, maybe I don't need to go down the expired path because actually that's taking up 80% of my time and it's actually only 5% of my income.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Where going down to become better at your sphere, because 95% of my income came from your sphere, 5% came from expireds. And so more people are putting their time, energy, and effort in the expireds when how could they actually go better and get more sphere? How could they actually be better on that
Sure.
to double up, triple up, 5x?
It makes your life easier in the long run. Like this little bit of discipline gives you so much more freedom. Because now imagine that you're the type of agent that is like me and you're talking about this type of stuff. And now all of a sudden you have a clear window into the two, instead of scatter shooting like I do and feeling inadequate because I'm having moderate success at 5 or 6 things. I double down on the 2 or 3 things that numerically I can see I'm great at. My life gets better. I'm focused on business that I enjoy working with. Right. Like all of that stuff falls into place. Right. And I'm telling myself this as much as I'm saying it to anybody else this is resonating with. Like, it's idiotic on my part to know that there are areas where the majority of my business comes from and then not absolutely focus all the systems I have and take whatever falls off of the table in the form of crumbs from other stuff too. But doubling down on the agent referral things, the expired thing, whatever your source of business is, and just making that your thing instead of constantly trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do next.
It makes perfect sense. And in 2021 especially, where I feel we got this kind of topic from, I was reading on Keeping Current Matters just a while ago and just kind of like throwing out some suggestions on things that we all should be doing right now. And it just reminds me that as technology and kind of like the resources and our availability to resources like accelerates at an exponential level, there's some things that if you're not doing now in your business, there's no excuse for whatsoever. Like, yes, I understand that there needs to be, for some people like Kelderman, a kind of a fundamental change in your psyche to be able to really start tracking your business at a super high level. I wouldn't put that on people as like, this is the number one thing you need to be doing, right? And there are also things that we sort of just push aside as like, we're not really inclined to do that. That's not really our strength or whatever. That I will tell you right now, if you're not doing them, you're getting dusted by people that are.
Yep.
We talk a lot about platforms and stuff nowadays in real estate. So even if you're an individual agent, if you're not building your own platform, meaning when I say platform, I mean a combination of resources on which you build standard operating procedures that are the lifeblood of your business. I do this like this every single time, and then you build on that. Nick's going down. And then you build his camera turned off. People at home have no idea why I just said that. Sorry. And then you build on that over time, right? That's how you scale your business, whether or not you're tracking it at a high level or doing whatever or not. It came back on. Is that?
I turned it back on.
Yeah. We're good. Is that? I'm still thrown off now. Switch to his camera real fast. See if that worked. Hold, please. GoPro.
There
There
we
he
go.
is.
I'm at everybody's shot today. I'm getting the most on-screen time.
Yeah. Standard. Give it away. Boom. Anyway, so I say that to say, right, 5 years ago, for example, I think the chasm,
I'm
Chasm.
going with chasm.
Is it chasm?
It just sounds better. Chasm sounds like it might be proper, and nobody says it that
Yeah.
way.
First,
Okay.
Who says chasm?
Yeah, I'm on
Chasm?
this show regularly fucking up the English language, so I'm not gonna like tell anybody much of anything.
I'm gonna go with gap.
Yeah.
Yes, just switch up. There's this valley that you have to
Right?
get through.
like CRMs and databases are a great example, right? The gap between what I could do with sort of a maybe entry level database or CRM that an individual agent was probably like in their budget price range or whatever, and what I could do with like an enterprise level, like you guys have like 4 different things that you use between Salesforce, Boomtown, like Sierra, like a lot of stuff, right? And it's all integrated and it works at a super high level, right? That gap is closed. So when I say that to say, one of the things that if you're not doing them right now, you need to be doing, if you haven't figured out how to structure your database within your software program that within 30 seconds, you can identify your target audience, know who they are, what your offer, what your message is, click a button and start communicating with them, you're going to get left in the dust moving forward, right? And we could elaborate on exactly what that looks like, but we do everything through our CRM, and it is organized, it is structured, it is standardized. The operating procedures are there. Great example. We just took a $6 million listing yesterday. No. Let me put it there. Amazing one of our business partners who got her real estate license less than 45 days ago.
Definitely
Took a $6 million listing yesterday because we utilize our CRM at such a high level that with the click of the button, you can find who you're looking for, what your message needs to be, and just click it and fucking go. If you don't have that ability, learn it, man, because that gap is closed. Anybody can afford that type of technology.
But the problem is that people don't, and this is what we should be doing right now, and they don't do this at a high enough level, is that they don't learn any of their systems, right? And so, when I'm training the agents, I say, look, the learning the systems is the most boring part of it, but it's like learning how to swim. You've got to jump in a river.
Yep.
Would you rather swim against the current or with the current?
Sure.
Well, eventually, if you're swimming against the current, you're going to get tired and you're going to drown. And those are the agents that are going out of business, right? If you learn how to use that system and that platform to go with the current, you're going to go a lot further. You're going to have a lot more energy. You're going to be able to sustain and not get burnt out when everyone else is like, how are you doing it? How are you doing this? That's what you need to be. That's what they need to learn. That's why learning that system, whatever it is, whether it's Boomtown, whether it's Sierra, whether it's KV Core, whether it's Command, whatever it is. I just had lunch with my old broker. He's using Top Producer. And I'm like, God, it's like
Do they still suck?
yeah, that's why I joked around with him. I said, Jay, it's like, I was like, that's like using a VCR, still watching movies on a VCR.
Yeah.
Dude,
What do you want?
that
Yeah.
interface.
You
When
want-
I saw
But
it last.
he's
looked that way.
consistent.
You want
It-
to talk about Family Matters or
Yeah,
something too?
like,
Like you live in
know,
the Stone Age?
Yeah, so
get
we were
caller
joking.
ID.
I'm so
we were
sorry
joking.
everybody using Top
No,
Producer.
we were joking. We were joking around with it, and it's just and it works.
It's the
It
consistency
works because
part
it
of it.
works.
Yes.
That's the thing about this. And like we can sit here and talk. People love to plan shit. They don't like the execution of it. I love a Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mondays are full of opportunity.
Yeah.
By
Everybody,
Friday,
what I say, everybody loves a Monday on a Friday.
Yes.
Meaning
Yeah.
like, I'm going to get started on
Yeah.
Monday.
yeah, it's like,
right?
oh my God, I didn't do all these things this week, but boy, after I rest for 48 hours, I'm hitting Monday like a
But then you're
fucking freight
tired
train.
because you got fucked up all week.
Yeah, or here's the thing is you proceeded like Saturday is a perfect example. I had a perfect Saturday to get like ahead and all this stuff. Next thing I know, it was 6 p.m. I'd go ahead and Facebook videos for 9 hours, and Saturday was gone. Right? Like I don't. Maybe that's what I needed too. Maybe that was the reset I
Just
needed.
watching bad lip reading for
That's
4
all it is.
hours
Yeah,
straight.
it is.
And you're like, and you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but we're really great at planning. So I think for real estate agents, and it's why I kind of was joking about the business planning thing, but all of that stuff feels really awesome. The idea of doing something feels really awesome. Going to a seminar, watching, a podcast feels amazing when you're getting ideas and you're like, oh shit, that one hit hard. That's me. Dude,
So-
all of this dies at the execution stage.
So I made a TikTok yesterday about this.
Nick's all on TikTok.
TikTok,
What's your TikTok name, Nick?
It's I don't even know.
It's at,
What?
Is it
at the
Nick?
good Nick.
This is probably
I don't
Nick
know.
Good
I
Realtor,
don't know.
right?
Is it Nick Good Realtor?
Can't imagine that wasn't available.
I'm currently coaching right now with Ryan Serhant on
Nick
all
Good
of
Real
that stuff.
Estate.
Nick Good Real Estate, and they actually like a lot of the advice I'm getting is like from a branding perspective. You should just be Nick Good.
Get it?
I agree.
But a lot of times Nick Good's taken already.
Who else is that?
I don't know. I try to get in there and I try to.
Obviously, Nick Good.
Yeah,
I know.
There's a lot of those. Like even if there's another. So from that, Nick Good Real Estate. But I did a TikTok yesterday, and I'm going to tell you right now. In fact, I think I lost. I think Draper and I.
Oh
think
yeah,
the
that
company-
was
he
till the end of
fucking-
yesterday,
he
right?
crushed me. Not
It's kind of what
I
he
would-
does though
well.
for a living.
Here's the thing: I was killing him, and I was rubbing it in his face. Fucking
That's where you
rubbing.
got sideways.
That's
Oh,
what happened. I
shit.
knew I shouldn't have done that.
You were Daniel
had-
Jones at about the 20-yard line.
Yes. Yep. He had one takeoff, and it went viral, like 30,000 views, and it just
that was it for you.
yeah.
What was it?
This one where he told realtors to stop posting closing photos.
Yeah, and here's the thing is, I will also say from a broadness of base as far as people who would listen, his content just has a further reach than yours does, right?
What was
yours
his,
is still going to be niche
I would-
content
yeah.
that's either for buyers or sellers or real estate agents.
Yes,
right? Like,
but
his
his
speaks to entrepreneurs in general.
kind of, but he wasn't crushing the TikTok game.
Yeah,
And I came out strong, and I'm like, I got this, and I showboated, and
he was high stepping at the
yeah,
15.
yeah.
You
I
should
probably
have
was high
made
stepping. I think I was
videos.
high stepping at the 50. Like, let's be real. I was probably at the 50-yard line because it was so early on in the
The
competition.
DK Metcalf comes running up behind you
Yes,
and just tackles your ass.
Yeah, but I made this TikTok video yesterday about the success formula.
Yeah.
And this is something that here's the thing. If the systems can overwhelm people, right? The thought of organizing your database into categories or to certain areas
Mhm.
can be overwhelming.
Right.
But if you just go with this one success formula and you follow this, then there is zero reason why you're not going to be successful, right? There's zero reason that you'll have zero chance of failing if you follow this, which is offers minus no's equals yeses.
Yeah.
So if I make a solicitation offer every single day for whatever it is, and I make it a habit to say I'm going to hit up 50 people every single day.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to make the same offer, even if I'm not vetting them. If I just call 50 people in the phone book every single day, I'm going to get a whole bunch of no's, but I'm making an offer. Do you know anybody thinking about buying or selling? 50 times, and I'm making 50 contacts. I'm probably going to get 50 no's the first day, 50 no's the second day. But day 3, might get a maybe. Day 4, I might get a yes. Right? And you make enough offers, you're going to get a shit ton of no's, but you're going to get to yeses. And just like you've always talked about, Brian, the benefit of real estate is you don't have to bat, right? You can strike out a lot. You can swing and miss a lot of times. All you have to do to be a Hall of Famer is hit the ball 3 out of 10 times every single time, bat 300.
That's all you got to do.
300,
You
you
can-
make connections 3 out of 10 times. That in school, that's failing, by the way.
Oh, it's not only failing; it's your parents are getting called, and you're probably going to some other school.
Yeah, so 3 out of 10 times, you have to. That's it. Just be successful out of that.
And I would venture to say, from a real estate perspective, that number gets dramatically lower, right? Because we're just talking about talking people. Your actual conversion rate needs to be so much lower. Just imagine just imagine this insane scenario. In 30 days, you talk to 100 people. Okay, that's 3.5 people a day. Not even 3. It's called 3 people a day.
3.3 people.
Yeah. Okay. So you're talking to 3 people a day, which I'll just tell you right now, those are not monster real estate goals,
No.
right? They're just not, right? You talk to 3.5 people a day. 4 of those people eventually buy from you, right? You're doing 4 deals a month based off talking to 100 people, right? Like now conversion rates at 4% are super high. And over time, maybe that's what you have if you have a whole pipeline full of people. But my point being is like, you talk about what you're talking about is actually a 30% conversion rate, right? That would be insanity. If I closed 30% of all the people I ever talked to about real estate, I wouldn't be doing this,
no, but here's the
right?
thing.
Or I'd be doing it
That's-
from a beach.
Here's the thing. That's getting
Right.
that's getting to a yes, which means they're
Just getting to a
having
yes. I get that,
conversations,
yes.
and then you funnel down. And even from there, once you continue funneling, it's gonna squeeze out to the yeses,
Sure.
like the ultimate clients. And for most agents, for right now, in order just to live, 1 deal a month for them keeps them in the business more than likely.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't make you rich. Then you keep doing what you're doing, and then it gets to 2, then it gets to 3, and all of a sudden you're like, how am I at 5 deals this month?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
It's this whole thing where we on a simplistic level, we just take it back to running your business like a business. And that's so easy to say. And it's even easier to hear when things are going well, right? Like when we're doing the really fun stuff, it's really easy to just be like, I run my business like I'm a CEO, right? Like when you actually look at it intellectually, that's what I was actually just looking up on my phone right now. Like average profit margin for a small business in America. Any takers, guesses?
80,000.
Profit margin, so percentage.
60%.
That would be fucking
That would be
phenomenal.
amazing.
8%.
7%.
I was about to say.
So
I wouldn't know
EBITDA,
that low.
earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Fun fact, is about 7% for the average small business in America. That's mean. So like if we just now that's obviously across all industries, but if we're just let's just say 10 is a healthy margin, right?
That is,
And then
that's freaking insane.
it would be insane. Wait, but if we looked at what is our investment really in real estate is our time. We're talking about return on time. If you had a 10% return on your time, that would mean that 90% of the time you would still fail, right? So even if I get whatever it is I'm doing, I'm prospecting, I'm marketing, whatever, right? A 90% failure rate is still really great in real estate. And it's very tough to kind of emotionally come to terms with that. I have this whole thing that I don't have a whiteboard here to draw up. Remember the FSBO equation I used to do?
One of the best ones, yeah.
You fail 90% of the time in real estate, I could still show you a way to make $200,000 a year.
Yep.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. You got to look at it intellectually and understand that and not let the emotional part of it drag you down.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
But so what should we be doing right now? In my opinion, where we need to be, if your business isn't where it wants to be, and I've been talking to a lot of agents and they're not, I'm going to say there's a lot of agents struggling.
I believe that.
And it's only going to get worse because one, you've got the Delta variant going freaking ape shit, right? So you've got sellers being a lot more concerned even than they were last year. You've got people who think the housing market is so overinflated, and you've got idiot agents out there agreeing with them.
Talked about this yesterday.
Right?
So frustrating.
And so you're having to fight against all of this shit noise out there. And the noise is a lot of it's coming from the real estate industry itself. Mm-hmm. They're making it worse for themselves when they're not treating themselves like the expert that they should be.
Because most of them aren't.
I understand that. Right? That'd be like going to the doctor's office and the doctor just be like, nah, that's not. No,
look,
no. There's nothing we can do for you, Kelvin.
Here's the deal, man.
There's nothing that we can do.
And as men, I understand our pricing is different on this, so ladies don't kill me. But look, there's $60 haircuts and there's $15 haircuts, right? And they fucking look different. They just do. And if you think that doesn't equate to real estate, I would just question, why wouldn't it? Yeah. Right? Like, we're all humans. There are levels to this shit, right? And at the end of the day, like this is not what we intended to do with this podcast, so I don't want to go too far with this. But you were talking about the agent.
Have a lot of intentions with this
I know,
podcast.
but you're just talking about like the information agents are putting out there, and this is where I think it parlays into what this topic originally was. The way to get around that is to show people consistently that you are the knowledgeable asset that they need, right? Yep. And it becomes it has a lot more meat and a lot more like rigidity to it when it happens over time and you almost predict their future for them, right? Yep. The most powerful thing you can do as a salesperson is not necessarily like convince somebody in the moment that they should list with you. It's telling somebody a thing's going to happen, and then it happens and they almost call you back and be like, hey, dude, look, I didn't really believe that's what was going to happen. And I kind of went against what you were saying. And I listed with this other agent and the exact same damn thing happened again. Will you please just come over here and list the house? And if you think those phone calls don't happen, they 100% do. No. Right? I'm not, like I just said, I'm not even
discount brokers, especially you clean up behind discount brokers.
I'm not even a massive lead generator, and I have those types of conversations through some of the automation I have. If you're really a prospecting based badass like you employ a lot of them, we've literally got 3 or 4 of them now ourselves, which I would have never thought in a million years on our team we were going to have people who would just hammer it like that. Those people see even more results because they're having even better conversations than I am, right? So like as an agent, and I kicked the ball back to you because I think that's where you're going. How do you rise above that noise and become the expert with people you don't have an opportunity to talk to, right?
I mean, it's easy. How if you don't have a chance to talk to them, what's the way to get in front of them?
Well, it's through obviously some sort of mass marketing or some sort of mass lead generation thing.
We
right?
do that we do that. So you're just going to hear my voice for right now.
I know, right?
Come to me
Let's
and
do
I'll
that.
do bad lip reading. For
Yeah.
you. I'll
So,
just move my mouth.
So we're
We're
gonna go from this other
We're gonna go
other
top of the
camera
bad
here.
boy.
But God,
I want Brian to do this.
yeah, I can't even take myself seriously
I
in
know.
this. But it comes down to video content marketing,
Yes.
right? And so you're making offers through soft offers through your database of sending out emails, sending out text messages to watch a video that you created. Like, hey, Matt, just made this video on do you think now's the right time to buy?
Yep.
Or in fact, I just made one that's going out. It's, do you think you should, if you think waiting to buy a smart, think again, right? We send that out. It gets blasted over email. We do it over text message. And from that angle, it's then, I've got one gentleman who will eventually list his house with us. He watches every single video that we've done. David Bentnick's been following this guy forever. He watches and he's disagreed with me on all of my stuff, but he still views me as
Still
the real.
watches
He
it,
still
yeah.
watches. He still views me as the real estate expert. He argues with all of my stuff, right? And from that, I have been right more often than I've been wrong. But that comes from going to Keeping Current Matters. That goes from studying the market. That goes from being, doing like today, not just with you guys, but doing every Wednesday at 10, I do an agent mastermind with our organization, and I hear the feedback that is going on within buyers and sellers. So, you start to pick up on what's the nuances. Every single seller right now, doesn't want to sell their house because they think it's too expensive to buy. It's going to cost them more money.
Dude, this is such a huge advantage to action and conversation, right? I have this conversation all the time with agents, or I even very honestly use it to win listings over agents. I just got off the phone with you guys when I was coming in here. With an expired listing, the previous agent had sold 3 houses in the past 365 days, right?
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to go in and just shit on some agent I don't know. And do you not think I'm not going to point out as a potential listing prospect is talking to me about all the things that weren't done correctly? You don't think I'm going to lean on the fact that I sell 50 houses a year and I'm part of a team that's going to sell 300, and I see all of these repetitions?
By the way,
that agent has seen 3.
By the way, you used to not do that.
I never used to
You
do
took
that.
that from us.
I
and it
100%
works.
took
It
that
is.
shit
See,
from
that's
you
the
guys.
thing, and it fucking works.
Yes.
Right? And so that's the thing these agents don't understand
Oh,
is that listening to this show, as wheels off as it can be, this is real. There's no true agenda behind the show. We're not trying to get you to sign up for shit other than go over to the only real estate group worth being a part of. But
Just leave us a review, dude. Like, that
yeah,
doesn't
you're not
cost
even
you
doing
anything.
that. Like shit. Like, let's be real. Or go visit our sponsors, Mortgage Mike. We don't get anything out of that. Like, we help him out. Mortgage Mike of Texas.com. And then Justin, actually, I will say we do get something out of Justin. He is a sponsor of the show. But I was talking to Brian that I just hired another VA today whom is building out our call center. And this chick has been, the last 2 years, she's been making calls to collect debt.
That's a brutal phone
If you
call.
can
She's
do
been
that.
doing that for 2 years,
What a
collecting debt
brutal
for credit
call.
card
Yeah.
companies. I said, if you can do that,
Yeah.
you can help us.
Interview
all.
over. You're
Anybody.
hired.
Yeah. She said that in the first 2 minutes. I said, I don't need to finish this interview. You're hired.
Yeah.
And so, but that comes from the masterminds. That comes from doing enough business to know what do the consumers have issues with. Consumers have issues with agents who tell them what they want to hear, and then they don't deliver, right? They overpromise, they don't freaking deliver because they just want to get the deal.
Yep.
Right? They're like, oh, Matt, yeah, your house is worth $1 million. You're like, fuck, it's not worth $1 million. Like, but they're just saying yes just to walk out of the door, just so they can tell their significant other, they can go brag on Facebook that they
And hope
just
they
signed
catch
a
lightning in a
listing.
bottle, too.
Yes.
Hope they actually have some buyer who comes along and buys it, right? But I hear more often than not, especially on the expired side, where the disappointment with the seller is just at the end of the day, when it didn't sell, the agent just kind of just gave up, right?
They gave up, or they're so ashamed that
Sure.
that the communication stopped, and
They don't have a solution.
there.
The only thing they're bringing to you is price reductions, right?
Which
Like,
here's the thing, that is a solution.
It
the
is a
problem
solution.
is they did not set the proper tone to say, like, all right,
Exactly.
look, I'm going to let you know right now that we overpriced your house.
Yes.
And if you remember when I first talked with you, I told you, I suggested we should be here. If you remember that conversation that we had, you wanted to be up here. So what we do is we say, let's try your method first. And if we have zero traction,
That's another thing I ripped off.
right? We have zero traction, then you're going to go my way.
Yeah.
Right?
I have that exact same conversation in listing appointments. One, it gives you a ton of teeth later on when you go back to say, again, I told you this is what was going to happen.
Yep.
You pair that with actual weekly conversations with them, where whether it's weekly or however you're doing it, where you're actually conveying data to them, you're giving them feedback. Maybe you're showing them some of the showing results from the neighborhood on properties.
Every Thursday we did a listing review call with the seller, and,
Yes.
and we're going over the showing or the
That's exactly
showing
the same
time
thing.
reports. Right?
Our VAs have an automated thing that they send out that has a Calendly link for my clients to reach out to me. I talk to most of my listing clients every week anyway, so
Yep.
we're having these conversations. But if you're going to your clients on day 21 or day 28, and that's the first conversation they've had about anything, and you're bringing price adjustment to them, whether or not they do it's irrelevant. Just understand from a fiduciary standpoint, you have not represented your client. Like, you should be going to them almost to the point where they're making a decision about the price reduction because they've seen the information. They're like, it just ain't there. And I'm
By
like,
the way,
I know.
suggestion on this, right? And I don't know if you guys do this, but because the marketplace, you haven't had to do this. You've been taking business in a market that you haven't had to have a lot of these talks. But to prepare a client for a price adjustment,
Yeah, it's not a
Adjustment.
reduction, it's a price adjustment.
right? To prepare, we
Price
call it adjustment. Improvement also says that I did it wrong.
Yeah.
So I call it
Oh,
adjustment,
all right.
right? So a price
They're going deep.
price adjustment. What we do, I'm not going to ask it if I wanted it that week. I needed to ask the week before,
Yes.
right? Because you don't jump into a hot tub, right, without knowing how hot it is. You kind of dip your toe in.
I thought you were going to say how deep it was.
Yeah.
Jumping into a hot tub like
Yeah.
Dirty ass
Right?
hot tubs you get in, you
Yeah.
can't see the bottom.
But so I'm going to prepare. I'm going to say, Matt, like, I'm going to let you know right now, if we don't have any traction next week, if we don't have any legitimate interest, I'm going to be suggesting next week that we do a price adjustment on your home by about $10,000. I just want to get you mentally prepared for that we're going to have that conversation next week. It's easier to say for next week because if you're saying it today, they're like, no.
You're just not giving them any time,
No,
right?
because you're, and that's the problem that agents do is they hit
Yes.
them right then. Like, because the client will call frustrated. Well, what should we do, Matt? What should we do? And you're like, well, we should drop the price. And you're like, that's the only solution that you've come up with. Like, and I'm like,
I tell clients all the time too.
You
I
could
even
burn
prep
it
them
down.
for feedback because I know there's a lot of agents out there who are like giving feedback to listing agents a pointless exercise. First, I don't agree with that, but I'm not going to fight with you on this show.
what?
But my point being is, I actually tell clients too. I'm even prepping them for the feedback conversation. I'm like, guys, actually, the best thing we can get is the same piece of negative feedback every single time.
Yes.
I don't want 6 pieces of negative feedback
Yeah.
because I don't know what to tell you to do. If somebody comes up to me and is like, hey, if 10 people tell me the location just sucks, it's too close to the road, it's too loud, perfect. I 100% know it's a pricing issue,
Yep.
right? If it's a layout, but if I have one person say it's the flooring, another person say it's a layout, another person say it's a location, another person say it's paint. Now I'm like,
You
I
know
don't
what
know,
that tells
dude.
me?
Maybe we should repaint the house and pick it up and move it.
No.
I don't know where the fuck.
You know
what
what
we should do?
No, so in order to have that, because that will happen, I just say,
It
you
does
know what
happen.
that tells me? That tells me that we're priced wrong.
We're priced way wrong.
Right? Because we're having too many people nitpick too many different things, and the price isn't solving the issue on that. And the only way to solve things is either you come in and spend money, which is going to cost you, right? That is a pricing thing.
And you're probably not getting back dollar for dollar.
Exactly.
anyways.
So why don't we do
You
an
know what I mean?
adjustment? The other suggestion would be, well, why don't you let's offer a realtor bonus? I'm like,
I hate that move. Why?
yes. I'm like, look, I love where you're going with this, but a realtor bonus, the way people look at houses today, the realtors aren't the ones picking it.
I've gotten 2 realtor bonus in my life, and you realize I did nothing to earn either
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah.
I just lucked into a property
Right
that
place,
somebody,
right time.
my clients liked it. And as long as you did 10 grand, like one of them was $10,000.
Yeah.
I was like, sure,
Yeah.
I'll take that. And at
Yeah.
the time, the broker I was with didn't even take it. He's like, no, it's extra. I got the whole 10 G's. I was like, it's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
how it should be. We do that like just so if you ever run a real estate team, like bonuses go to the agents. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't do splits on bonuses. I don't think.
Maybe.
Maybe, whatever. Do
Something
what you
eyeballed
want.
over Except for
Do what
fucking
you wanna
discussion.
Do what you want to do.
It just depends on the lead source.
Right, yeah.
Right.
That's fair.
But from that, so what agents need to be doing right now, and you take this because here's the thing: what you should be doing, honestly, is listening in on this and picking up the bits and pieces that's going to work in your business.
Sure.
Right. The agent training we had today, we were discussing. Too many agents are the specialty in everything. Like, oh, you sell headlamps? Yeah, I specialize in headlamps, right? Like, I don't know shit about headlamps, but like, go down one path.
Yes. Yeah.
Go down, like Brian Murray somehow attracts all the mobile homes. He somehow gets all the mobile homes. I'm like, dude, then let's start a video series of you highlighting the most fanciest mobile homes we can find out there.
Do a small tour,
Reverse
small horn.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
her small horn.
Right.
That's her whole thing. I was on her show again on Sunday. It just never ceases to amaze me how many people tune into her shit. It's awesome. But that's she, like, from a real estate perspective, she knows, I'm sure she knows a lot of real estate stuff, but she has a couple of niches that are huge.
Tiny
for her.
houses.
The tiny houses in the mobile home market, right?
Yeah.
And it's a product of her market and whatever.
But I
she
guarantee you,
embraces that part.
Brian Murray, if he actually embraced that, there's a lot of money in going down one path. As too many as agents were going shotgun style, and we're talking, and you're like, it's scatter shooting,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Like the
'cause
ticket says.
It's because hungry people will eat anything.
Yes.
That's the point is,
But
right?
if you
Like,
don't know your target demographic, right, you don't know how to consistently go out and kill that same deal over and over and over again. So you don't know where your business is going to come from year after year.
And I'll even give you the credit of saying, like, maybe you haven't had enough consistency to even figure out what you're good at yet, right? Like, it just doesn't have to be like a lack of effort situation. This can just be a time on task deal, right? Like, because I know that was my life for the first 4 years I was in real estate. I was just trying to freaking survive.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and trying to survive in an ethical way. I never wanted my survival to come at the detriment of any of my clients. And I wasn't lead generating in a way that was super productive. I didn't have I had no repeat clientele at the time. It was before I had partnered. It was even before I was with Keller Williams. So I literally was just walking around the real estate world.
But here's
by
the thing:
myself.
you found your niche now is agent,
100%,
right?
Yeah.
Agent,
Yes.
right?
That's
and so
super true.
So though you can't track from year after year, but what you can track is how many times that you're putting yourself in front of more and more agents,
Yeah.
because that is quantifiable. If you put yourself in front of more agents, there is a higher probability that you are going to get referrals from them coming from their marketplace to the DFW marketplace.
Offers minus no equals yes.
Yes.
What's the saying? It applies to fucking everything.
Yes.
It applies to everything.
And so why is this complicated?
Because it's scary.
No.
And we don't like to be rejected.
The
That's the human
That's
part
the
of
thing.
it.
We don't-
We
That's
just
all
don't
it
like
is,
rejection.
right?
Yeah.
If you want to boil all this down to like the human emotion, right? Like, we invented electricity because we needed lights to turn on when we came in the room so we could chase back the fear of human darkness. The next thing is like the fear of not being liked or the fear of looking stupid. And this type of job will bring that to the forefront.
Or
man.
a no stops it. Here's the thing. And I'll give a little bit of context without going really deep. Brian and I were working on something that we both got no's on. And to this day, we are still working on getting a yes, where it did not stop either one of us in our treks, right? That right there, you have to look at what people are doing in your business. You get into real estate, you're super excited, like, I love looking at houses. That's why I got into it, because I really love real estate. I love looking at I like going in other people's homes, looking at all their shit. And
It's a weird thing
it-
that people say.
it's that voyeuristic stuff.
Why do
right?
y'all
They
love
love
looking
that.
at people's houses so much?
I
How
hate
creepy
it.
are you?
I hate it. Like, I don't like that part.
Yeah.
I like the helping people. It's transformed, and I like helping our agents win, put them in the best position to
Yes.
win. But when they have a campaign, let's say that they've got this business idea. So Brian and I have this business idea. We're super fucking pumped. I'm going to tell you right now.
Frozen yogurt.
I'm going to tell you right now. We have not been
All
more,
the toppings.
we've not been more excited
Yes.
than anything else.
That's for damn sure.
right. And the minute that you have these plans, you've already visioned the success that can come from it, and then you get a no.
Yeah.
Not just a no, but it's a hard stop no.
Yeah.
Right? What do most people do?
That's the end of the road
That's
for
it.
that
Yeah.
particular
That's
venture.
it, right?
That venture's over.
And
Figure out
if you're in the if
whatever.
you're a solo agent, you're like, man, I don't know if I have what it takes to make in this business. Like, I was counting all the Benjamins I was going to make on this one, and it didn't work. I wasted so much time on it. I'm down in the dumps. I'm having a pity party, and I don't think there's anything that's going to work for me. That's what ends up happening. So it's not even tweaking to figure out how to get to the yeses. They just stop. And that would be like, if Brian and I were to stop, we would just be like every other fucking agent. who burns
Here's the
out.
thing: is you wouldn't have been in a position to explore the opportunity in the first place if you were the type of people who just stopped. Like,
Correct.
Like again, and not saying this isn't a learned behavior. I for years thought willpower was something that people had a finite amount of, and then like you just reached a certain level of like your ability to tough it out with shit, and without going through some hard life circumstance, and that's just where your shit died off. And that's, first off, if you think that, that's just not true. And I will tell you, I'm a living example of that.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but more importantly, like you guys wouldn't have been in a position to still be fighting for the thing that you're fighting for if you weren't the type of people who just fought for shit. Right.
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
It's part of the learned behavior that you guys have had through the successes. Too.
Yes. But that's where that is the grit factor. If we're just going to use a buzzword, that's the grit factor that we need to have as agents getting into this. And for Q4, if your business is not where it wants to be,
Sure.
nor I don't think anybody, even at a level of success, you're like, how's business? I'm like, it can always be better.
It can always be better.
Always should be better, because I can go count the losses that we had that would have made it better, that we messed up on, that we dropped the ball on. Like Bella, my lead coordinator manager had jumped our team's ass because they had 11 hot leads. They fell through the crack. 2 of those people in the last 2 weeks have already been put under contract by another agent.
That's not a good feeling.
It's not.
And we can like, and to say
And
like
it
it can always be better. Like understand. I want to try and say this without sounding braggadocious. It will always feel that way organically as well. Like Matt and Jenya can attest to this right now. Like again, I'm trying to say this not sounding braggadocious, right? Like we only sold 28 homes last month. I was not fucking happy.
Not happy at all.
Not from where it was.
Right.
Oh.
And now
Just
finding
human
where
beings operate that way. Like we get used to our environment. We it's our instincts, right? It is our survival skills. It is everything inherent that allowed a relatively weak species physically to survive for thousands and thousands of years. We have a survival instinct that is always chasing more. That's insatiable, unsatisfiable.
Do you truly believe that when Bill Gates walks in the front door of his house, he feels any different than you when you walk in the front door of your house? And that's a dead
he's got a
serious
new
question.
girlfriend right now, so
Not-
maybe.
But here's the thing: is
She hot?
I'm
I
just
don't know,
talking
is she?
about you guys. I'm just talking about I'm just talking about like the aspect of everything new becomes old, right? Do you think people who live like I want to so desperately live in Chelsea in New York now that we've fucking been there? Also, do you think if I went and spent $9 million on a place there, that after a year and a half I'd walk to the front door and it would feel any different than walking to the front door of my place in the star right now?
Not
It
at
just
all.
wouldn't, right? Like Bill Gates has a 28-room house and he sleeps in one of those motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like
How do we know?
because he's just a person. And unless he's learned how to somehow divide himself into actual physically different pieces.
Waking up every
At
half
any-
hour
yeah,
and moving
yeah.
bedrooms.
And then I would still
How do you
venture
know
to
his
say
staff-
the head is
How
the
do we
only
know his
part that
staff-
matters.
His staff doesn't move him
Just
around.
move him around throughout
Oh,
the
that
day.
chick is not hotter.
You guys
Wait, he's dating his ex-girlfriend?
eject.
Oh. Well, good for them. I hope they're happy.
But my whole point being is regardless, like this whole success thing, like the whole like money thing, all of that stuff, I will just tell you, 2021 will be the year I've made the most money I've ever made in my life. And I still am dealing with as many personal issues as I have always dealt with. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're the type of person who's going to put action to stuff, you are the type of person who's going to put action to stuff. If you're the type of person who's building towards that, and that's your mindset, and you want to do bigger things, you're going to do bigger things. If you're just the type of person who is waiting for somebody to row their boat up next to yours and tell you to get in and they'll take care of everything from here forward, you're just going to be super disappointed with how that plays out.
It's you make a great point, and the flip side of that is, yes, while human beings tend to have this insatiable appetite for more, and that's just inherent in who we are, like everything that's good about your drive and your push forward, like everything you do to continue to drive your business, your life, whatever forward, is all in some ways kind of in vain because you'll never feel like you have enough. At the same time, all of those things where people get sideways, and where the three of us were fortunate enough to kind of break that barrier. And if we're talking about what you should be doing in your business right now, is it becomes easier throughout your journey as you progress to get to the other side of the fence and obstacles. Meaning, like, we go back to the situation we were just talking about before, right? We had a relatively big no in our lives recently. And like, none of the meetings that we had about that, I don't think anybody left being like, well, that sucks. Game over. Like, we're actually, I don't mean that, again, I don't want to say this braggadociously. I say that to say, like, we're at a point in our business now where, like, it is not in business, in life in general. Like the word no doesn't really make sense to us anymore. It's more of an opportunity to go, okay, well, let's approach this from a different angle. I'd mean that from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean that from a fucking dinner reservation standpoint. Like, you tell me I can't eat here, I'll just fucking ask you more questions, right?
Yeah.
Like, can I hang out until somebody leaves? Like,
Yeah.
did somebody cancel? Like, can I give you my personal number? I know that only 80% of people are going to show up tonight. Like, how can I figure this out, right? Like, and I say that to say, earlier on in your career, you have to have that grit. That grit is the little ingredient that you need when your brain hasn't wired itself through some of the successes that you've already had to just not understand what no even means anymore. Don't mean that in a weird way. I mean that like in business and your
It just means not right now.
Yes, I just mean like
Right.
in the beginning, it doesn't feel like you have enough power over your own destiny, right? And so you have to have the grit to get through the no's, because the no's make sense to you intellectually. I'm not there yet. Somebody told me no.
Do you
I
know
have
a
to accept
shortcut to start building that grit and that confidence level?
Self face punching.
The Matrix.
I wonder if that would work.
I don't know.
Everyone has a plan until
Everybody
they
has
get
a plan.
punched in the face.
You're like, I'll punch myself in the
Yeah,
face.
right? But then do you know it's coming or
Toughen
do
up.
you not?
I think you do.
Right.
Like, can you surprise yourself with a punch?
I don't
Just like,
know.
hey, Matt, look over there. What?
Yeah,
Knock
but
the shit out of yourself.
joining a team.
Joining a
Yes.
platform,
That-
absolutely.
joining a team, joining a platform, because what ends up happening is when you are that solopreneur, you're that solo agent, and you're getting the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you can come up for air. Everything that you're doing is getting the no's, right? You enter into this bad headspace, and that headspace then will get you, if you're not strong enough individually, you need to be around that camaraderie that will pick you up and be like, look, this happens. Like we celebrate those weird, like, join the Facebook group, the only real estate group we've been a part of. You'll see the text messages.
Mhm.
Those are also celebrations, because you get to see some of these weird ass, these texts that will tell you to kill yourself or whatever.
People say some crazy stuff, dude.
Yeah. And
People
if
love to hurt people.
I will tell you that would stop a lot of solo agents. Be like, I don't want to send any more of those texts out.
Mhm.
Oh, dude, we see it in some of these other horse ass groups that are out there, right? Where somebody's like don't cold call people, just focus on your database, dude. Stop. As real estate agents, let's stop telling people what is like not worked for us.
Right.
Like somehow we hammered it for 6 months at the highest level
Yeah,
imaginable.
why don't you try to learn? Like, between the three people here, that's $200 million in production every year, and all we're all trying to do is learn from other people who
Yeah.
are doing other shit. I'm not
Exactly.
telling anybody not to do anything, man.
No.
You tell me what's working.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think we just run into this
Think door
space so
knocking
much.
doesn't work. We're about to find out in Austin.
Yeah, exactly. But there will be plenty of people who'd be like, I'm telling you, I've just seen the comment sections of people be like, that's so rude. That's so, with COVID, whatever the excuse is. And that may be true for them. And that is a whole lot of people projecting their crap on
But guess
on
what that
somebody
does?
else.
That will stop you. Like if
It would stop
you're like,
me.
hey, I was doing this. Like
If
David
you
has
were
thrown.
afraid of getting COVID, why would you answer the door?
And here's the thing is, if I'm a new real estate agent and I have somebody who maybe I don't know, but I see their business, I'm like, man, they've done a lot. They told me this was stupid. I could very easily, early on in my career, take a left-hand turn.
Yeah.
That I shouldn't have turned at all. I should just continued straight, taking that as an opinion, chalked it up to whatever, and tried my own thing.
Let's say that.
But now the rest of my career, I think expireds are a joke, and it's like,
I'm
no,
gonna tell
they're
you,
not.
Let's say you
Like,
posted in Lab Coats or whatever group it is. Maybe the only
it has to be one of the bigger groups because
Yeah.
that's where you get a bunch of stupid
like the
opinions.
only
We're all
real estate
smart
group
people
we're
in
being
our
a
group.
part. All the great people in our group.
Yeah, you want
You're
a
like, I had a
opinions.
great day. I
Give you
made
some of those.
4 hours worth of expire calls and this, and they're like, that's fucking trash. Why would you even like work your sphere?
Yes,
That
I wouldn't
is
work with
every
somebody
single
who called
time.
me.
Every single time, work your sphere. Why are you wasting 4 hours? Only 8% contact rate. Work your sphere.
Couldn't you just say that you're trying to add to your sphere?
That's exactly.
But no one has a comeback for that.
No.
It's just not a fun argument.
Well, it's not a fun argument because, like, the one I think is an agent who would say something like that, like, especially if you're just the work your sphere agent. Like, also, guys, let's not forget, like, we're all super, like, we can be fact checked pretty goddamn easy,
Yeah.
right? Like, you can sit there and throw out all your opinions at the end of the day, and you can tell me that you only work off market deals, but
Maybe from now on,
we hate Zillow, but Zillow's also
You know
got your
what,
shit kind of
this
right.
show's gonna
Google
be.
me.
This show's gonna start being an exposing show. We're gonna expose the fraud out
What's the
there.
guy's name?
Exactly.
What's the
We're gonna go all Alex Jones on people.
No, the Chris guy who, like, all the pedophiles, all the pedophiles.
Oh, Chris
Hansen.
Oh,
Chris
Hansen.
Chris
yeah.
Hansen. We're gonna
Nick
Chris
knew
Hansen
that
the
real
shit out of
fast.
some
Wow.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
To catch a predator.
knowing the name
Yeah.
of the guy does not make you a pedophile.
Yeah.
Being on the show
What-
does.
Yeah, what are you implying here, sir?
If you're not Chris Hansen or a cameraman on that show, you are definitely a pederast.
yeah.
Like, that's a fact. They didn't
or
actually,
one of the kids.
yeah, exactly. Or not even a kid, just some lady in a back room on a fucking computer.
Yeah. So this show is going to start exposing the fraud.
Bro, look, I'll tell you, we made the mistakes early on of having a couple of them on this show.
Do we do that? Should we just take that? Y'all put in the comments. We still got quite a few people watching. Like we like to just do this because it's fun. We like to bring some value. I'm super cool with being controversial. Do you want to like do some episodes where we just call people out
Here's the thing is,
and expose them? I'd be super into that.
I would slightly do this because I already have a really great way of doing this. Like, and it happens. The platform is YouTube, right? All you need to do to understand who the hacks are on YouTube from real estate perspective, this is from all of you guys, right? Is go look at their subscriber versus view count. If they have 100,000 subscribers and each one of their videos they post gets 3,000 views, you might be a hack.
That's
right?
fair. You can.
You
identify
might be
it.
a hack. That's the reality. Is like if you had so many, or you got all your followers for some other shit. Maybe you got all your followers from like driving around a Fast and the Furious car or something, right? Like, you know, maybe you got all your followers from like acting like you sell real estate, but you don't, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got a couple of good examples, but if you go to their YouTube pages and actually look at the content, nobody's watching what they're putting out because nobody gives a
It's
rip.
relatively simple math. You can put the pieces together.
Yeah. So like, just make sure that whatever,
Episode.
right? I don't know. Jesse will go back and reference them.
We've done a few of them. Do you know what?
My point being, and it's not even like knocking this show. Like we don't have a ton of people watch this. And again, like we said, we're not doing this for any reason. We ain't got shit to sell you. We don't care. Like we do this. This is honestly the only thing on our schedule that none of us ever deke out on. The rest of the stuff, like
That is
I'll
true.
avoid all
Yeah.
kinds of shit that actually makes me money. This makes me no money, and yet I'm here every single Wednesday. At 3
Matt
o'clock.
legitimately flaked on dinner in an hour and a half, and his excuse was he just didn't feel like doing it.
Yeah, but I'm here for this.
We do this in every other aspect of our life with 3+ years running every Wednesday. We've been here.
I'll just bring it to you hot.
That's
you know what I
right.
just thought of? I have a surefire way as how we can get Sirhan on the podcast.
How's that?
I think you guys probably already know where I'm going with
We're
this.
going to New York.
Y'all want to do Sirhan in November?
I mean, dude, I will tell you right now, Jesse's already going.
So we're just going to roll up like the crew and be
just
like,
roll up and just
be
roll
like-
into his office, be like, "We're doing a show, bro."
we just set up
We
real
could-
fast.
We could pipe y'all in. We could all. I mean,
Why would he not
Y'all are
want
not
to,
going to ever have
man?
to fight me to go to New York, right? But
No, I mean,
at the same time, that is an hour set aside.
I mean, let's try and make it work. Everybody start just tagging Ryan Serhant in this. Let's just see what happens.
All right.
It's been an
Ryan,
hour.
yeah. This was a good. I actually,
I'm happy. No, it didn't. It was
no,
great.
look, this was really therapeutic for me.
You needed this today.
Yeah, it was a good one.
That's good.
Yeah, even though this camera looks blurry as fuck.
Yeah, I know.
So
This is by far the most expensive camera we have.
We weren't
too.
planning on using this today. It just
Yeah.
kind of got thrown into service.
look, you want to go to our real estate group? Just go do it.
You
Yeah.
should. You know, there's fun. So, I mean, don't post your open houses in there because I'll straight up. I won't
I'm
even,
tired of
warn
that
you.
shit.
I'll
There's
straight up just
someone posted.
send you on
I
your
almost
way.
deleted one today. It was kind of a dude posted a video in there today.
It's just
I
none
haven't
of us,
been
none
in
of
one
us
day.
are going to come to your open houses. You
Yeah.
know? So I know that
Let
you
me see this.
guys.
Just reach out to us, man.
Or if you do want to post your open houses, just join the group. The only real estate group worth being a part of.
Yeah.
See what
And then we'll
happens.
delete your open house.
Yeah.
We'll let you stay in.
Yeah, we'll let you stay in there.
I
Look,
know.
we need the numbers. Like,
We
like,
do.
you know, we need to get
Something happened when we post last week's show because we had like 30 people join out of nowhere that weren't invited, and like we must
Really?
have some group that must have actually accepted us. I'm for real going to get put in Facebook jail after today because I wasn't even paying attention. I legitimately was just sharing this to everything on my damn group feed. I bet you there weren't even real estate groups that this thing is sitting in right now. So if you're watching it and one of those non-real estate related groups, I'm not really super sorry.
Yeah. So go to the only real estate group worth being a part of on Facebook. Go support our sponsors, Justin Nelson, SphereRocketVA.com. If you want that virtual assistant experience, as well as Mortgage Mike, Michael DeBacker, the Texas loan officer. I like that. You know what?
I'd like
The
that.
Texas loan officer.
He needs a
No,
fucking
it
cowboy
needs
hat.
to be like the strong arm. We need to
We
get
can't-
like
well,
the
he's
Texas.
gone.
I
He's
know,
gone.
I know he's
Yeah,
gone.
alright.
Look, we all miss him, but I mean something like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Brian
Like-
Loncar's a strong arm.
Yeah.
I always
Like the
get-
Texas.
The Texas Hammer is
He's based in Houston though,
Jim
so I don't buy
Adler.
his
But
shit.
then you got the Law Hawk in Fort Worth.
That guy is
That
rad.
guy won a Super Bowl video,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's how he got
Yeah.
his.
We should do the Texas Claw.
The Texas Claw.
But what does that have to do with?
It just sounds cool.
I mean, he's going to claw his hit.
What's
claw-
Brian
claw-
Loncar to do? Hit you with a hammer until you die?
Well,
That seems
that's
bananas.
that's Jim Adler.
Okay.
he's
Okay.
Brian
What was
Loncar.
long
Brian
card?
Loncar was a strong arm.
It was a strong
Oh,
arm.
so he's
he
going
was
to put you in a headlock.
He
No,
was.
he's going to strong arm his way and get in your case.
What's the
result.
Law Hawk
Yeah.
going to do?
The Law Hawk is, the Hawks.
I mean,
He's
dude,
gonna-
he might eat your
He's
entrails.
he's,
if you
he's
don't
going to
fucking-
intercept your case and take it for 6
Yeah.
is what he's going to do because he's a Law Hawk.
yeah.
See, he thinks
So-
it's ball hawk. I'm thinking about some like taloned raptor
Yeah,
coming out
I
of the
am
air,
too. So
eating my warm entrails as I watch him.
I mean, the Texas. Yeah. So what did you say? The Texas what for the backer?
The Texas Claw?
Was he going to claw his way to that loan
to
approval?
the closing table.
To the claw-
That's what it's
he's
going
to
to do.
claw his
Maybe
way to the
that's what
closing
I don't think
table.
that's a great sales pitch. It's just like
See?
Yeah,
I'm
Just-
barely getting this done at the last minute.
yeah, I think that's.
Use me, please.
Yeah.
Every deal just
He's got to be the Texas Fireball.
Texas
Jesus.
Fireball.
The Texas Fireball.
Just
I don't
torching
know.
these loans.
Yes, I think yes.
That's it. That's it.
The
Game
Texas
over.
Fire, Michael DeBacker, the Texas Fireball loan officer who's torching loans. He go to mortgagemikeoftexas.com.
Jesse, let us out this motherfucker, please. Oh my God.
Hey, thank you for watching. We truly appreciate it. Checking out another episode of the Only Real Estate Podcast worth listening to. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead, hit that share button, hit that like button, and hit the subscribe button. Right? We're dropping more stuff on YouTube constantly. If you're on iTunes, leave us a review, please. We're really, really focused on building up those reviews so we can get more searchable content on there. And if you're on Facebook, like everyone else is, go over and search the Only Real Estate Group worth being a part of. You're going to want to go join that group. I'm telling you right now, there's so much gold in there. So go join, share us on YouTube, and leave us that iTunes review, please. Go do it right now. We'll see you on the next show.